How y'all doing? Okay, so look, I noticed y'all. Every time that I call myself saying that out of every negative situation, you can get something positive out of it. Immediately after I say that, something negative happened to me. Hey, how y'all doing? All right, all right, all right. Hey, how you doing? Yes, ma'am, thank you. How you doing? All right, all right. How you doing? All right. Oh, I'm sorry. No, go ahead, go ahead. All right. Yeah. So every time I say out of every negative situation, you can get something positive, something negative happened to me, which is extremely crazy. So I just remain positive in it, man. And you wouldn't believe the outcome. Like the outcome has been so much greater than it's me channeling those negative thoughts. I just remain so positive with it. How's it going? Remain so positive with it, and I promise you, I get. I mean, I get so much positive feedback. Everybody start helping me. I mean, like, for instance, okay, this lady today, right? She called herself like every time I come when I went up to the when I went up into the place, I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" She didn't speak to me, so I gave her a minute. You know, she's doing my order. I mean, she's doing my order to unload my truck, filling out my paperwork and stuff. She would not speak to me, so I waited. I waited, and I said, I blessed her day. I was like, yes ma'am, how's you going? I looked at her, I said, isn't, isn't, isn't God amazing? And she looked at me and she was like, yes. I said, I said, have you thanked him today? She said, you know what? I haven't. I said, well, maybe you should try it. Maybe you should try thanking him. I said, because if you was to thank him, I mean, you just won't believe how your day would turn out. She was waiting on a guy. She was actually training this other guy. So I was like, you wouldn't believe how your day would turn out. So she looked at me and I started saying, you know, I just want you to know that God will never leave you nor forsake you. You know, and a lot of times we have so much going on where we fail to think about ourselves, and we started focusing on other things. I say, but when you start thinking about yourself, I mean, God is able to reach you. I mean, He is able to reach you when you start waking up, meditating, and waking up instead of saying, "Hey, what time is it? I'm gonna lose," and you just say, "You know what? I'm gonna lay here. I'm gonna thank God." And I told him like, when you start doing that, I mean, you won't believe how instead of going from point A to point B, I mean, you bring point B to you, which is God. You bring God to you, and then you start your day off with Him, and the rest of the day, I mean, you're gonna look at so positive. And the conversation while the guy filled out the paperwork, it went for about like 5 minutes, and that woman looked at me, man, you know, and she said, "Thank you. I am so glad that I met you, Mr. Prince." You know what I'm saying? And she was an older lady. You know, I wouldn't have expected that. Period. Like, period. So she was like, "I am so glad that I met you." And I just thought that was so cool. I thought that was so cool because it's a longer story. Because even after that, okay, so they rejected my load. They rejected my load. That's fine. My phone was broke. When I made it, they rejected my load, so I had to go back to the terminal. So, well, I get back to the terminal. My phone was broke. I showed the dispatcher. They bought me a brand new phone. They bought me a brand new phone. All of this. So I didn't. And the crazy thing is, I was dodging going back to the place. I was trying to stay ahead of everything and not go back there. But see, when I stopped and thought about it, I said, you know what, God, you was trying to send me there because of, you know, you knew that good things were gonna come. But see me, what I do is I try to get a step ahead of things, and when I get a couple steps ahead of things, I kind of start, I guess, not following the spirit, which is kind of odd, you know. Once you get into meditating and spirituality and manifesting on the word of Jesus Christ, and you know what I'm saying, start accepting the signs of the universe. And, I mean, you got to mix them all together, really, 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 really. Once you start doing that, I mean, things will just, doors will open and signs will come from the universe. So I knew that I should have went there last night, but everything is on time. Whenever you think that, you know, if you on your time, well, you know, it's not happening like this, it's not happening like this, but I promise you, give it a couple minutes, a couple days, or a couple hours, however, it's gonna line back up. But it had to do that in order to do this. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that makes sense to y'all, but when it's not going the way you think it should go, and when you're going straight, and then, like, let's say we're going straight, but all of a sudden, you have to do a detour. But it brings you back around. You know how your GPS do it sometimes. You go straight and traffic jam go, then they bring you all the way back around, and then once you come back around, next thing you know, you're on the other side of traffic. Sometimes it's just like that. But that's it. Cause I talk all day.